question. Is it okay for a grown man to be playing video games? Maybe, right? How much video game playing is okay for a grown man to be engaged in? What happens if the video game playing is having a negative impact on your relationship? How do you deal with someone not wanting you to play video games? Well, those are very important questions for men of today. So let's have those conversations on this episode of the Gentleman's Brotherhood. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Gentleman's Brotherhood. My name is Juan Sepulveda and I have the pleasure of being here with my friend Alberto Mella. Alberto.
A pleasure. Always a pleasure being with you, Juan.
It's been a while since we do one of these. I'm excited.
Yes.
This is a conversation that we've been talking about on and off for a long time. I've been thinking about it for a long time, especially since I have children in the house that want to play video games. The question is it okay for a grown man to be playing video games? Is that all right? So you're invited to join the conversation. We're going to have a conversation here. I want to hear from you in the comments section. Let me know your opinion. If you disagree with anything that we say, I want to hear it because I want this to be a conversation among us. It's just the guys talking, right? So, Alberto, I know for a fact that you have a relationship with video games.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about that
Yes.
that aspect of your life?
Well, I've been playing video games since playing video games was a thing. Name it, the early ColecoVisions, Ataris, just you name it, your Nintendos, your Sega Masters, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendos, you name them.
Nice.
I played them. Computer games, I play them.
Nice.
Been there.
What was that Dream one? The
Dreamcast. Sega Dreamcast. Yes.
All right. So you've gone through the whole evolution of them.
Yes.
I'm the same. I started with my first foray into video games was Atari. My father had bought the Atari 3600, I think it was called, and he had a couple games, but he bought it for himself and my mom. So I was a spectator. It was never intended for it to be for me. It was something that they bought for their entertainment. So they'll play Pong in it. They'll play Tank. They'll play all of those games.
Yeah.
Now, I know that now as an adult, you play video games, and I play sporadically. There's some video games that I play every single day, and I'll get into those in a minute. But this is a conversation that's happening everywhere. There are men who play video games every single day for a long time, and their respective, like their wives or their girlfriends, may not like it. And I wanted to explore a little bit of that. Like, is it okay for men to be playing video games? And some people are super opinionated about it. Have you come across anybody who has like a super strong opinion about it?
Yeah, especially older folk. My parents, like you're still doing that. You're still like a little boy. Or everything in moderation, including moderation. I think it was one of those Greek philosophers says something. I don't know, Plato, Socrates, one of them. Everything in moderation, including moderation. So if you're a gamer and you moderate your game time, it's like everything. It's like your diets, right? It's like what you eat, what you drink. Your vices, everything you do, if you do it in moderation, it's manageable. The problem therein goes. For example, me, my discussions about gaming with my spouse is like, listen, I spend 2 hours watching a movie. It's entertainment. I can spend an hour watching a TV show. Or there are the days where you decide you're gonna binge. You binge on Sex and the City to name a show. I will binge in The Sopranos, right? Different TVs. So instead, I decide halfway through, I don't want to do Sopranos. I just want to play this video game that I like the story. And now with the new technology and the new generation consoles, the stories are very engaging. So you actually play to go from clip to clip to get to the next clip because you want to see the story. But that is my argument. Is we spend so much time in this entertainment environment where we're watching TV. It's no different. It's just that now I am a participant on this entertainment.
That's a good point.
Now, let's say that as a participant on this entertainment, I'm just sitting there and I'm being consumed by it. That's all I am doing. We are adults.
Yeah.
We have to make adult decisions. We are parents. There's some parenting that needs to be done.
That's right.
There's some budgetary constraints.
Yeah.
There's some honeydews.
Yeah.
There are things that you have to do when you're gaming, just like with other vices. When it takes over that's when issues arise.
Yeah, if it starts encroaching upon the time that you should be spending doing other things. And that's very important to keep in mind. There's nothing intrinsically bad about the entertainment that you choose, whether it's a movie, a video game, reading a book or a novel, as long as it's not in lieu of doing something that you're supposed to do. It's like having those priorities, those responsibilities. Your commitments. I'm committed to doing this, so I have to do that, and perhaps I reward myself with 30 minutes of playing the game or an hour of playing the game. So you mentioned the kids, and one of the main reasons I've been thinking about this topic is because of my children. My children love video games. They play Fortnite. They play Minecraft. They play the Roblox. And I noticed that for the past few months, the boys have said, "Hey, Daddy, have you seen the latest?" And they'll mention a game. For example, the Assassin's Creed. So
I'm an Assassin's Creed fan.
Oh, I know. I know. And I only own one Assassin's Creed.
Play them all. Keep going.
Oh, yeah, well, definitely need to. I'm going to need to borrow some of those. But they get excited. Oh, there's a new Assassin's Creed out. And, Daddy, I think you'll like this one. You should try it. And it clicked in my head. It's like they're trying to connect with me through that which is important to them. So they're well-versed in the video games. I can't sit down and perhaps, have them excited about art theory or, art history. They're not very interested in that. But if I were to talk with them about some of the video games that they're into, there can be a conversation happening, something very exciting. So I've noticed them saying, "Hey, Daddy, you should see the graphics on this new Assassin's Creed. I think you would really enjoy it because you like
trying to get
pirates."
That connection, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. Here's a great opportunity for me to connect with them deeper and entertain, each other in the process. But it's like they're giving me the key. There are many times where I'm like, okay, why they don't care? They don't care about, I'm trying to show them this painting. I'm trying to show them this business thing.
Let me tell you what my daughter did about that, okay? There's this game called Fall Guys, right? In my opinion, a very silly game. But let me tell you this story.
Is that the slinky ones?
No. They're like little
wobbly?
little wobbly.
Oh, I know you're
things that just walk, right? It's an obstacle course of wobbly things. Right?
Yeah.
My daughter started playing it and then she's going, same thing. Dad, you have to play this game. And I said, I'm never gonna play that. Come on, I'm an action kind of the guy. I like to be shooting, throwing, killing. Those are my games. And then one day that game, you pay for cosmetics. For cosmetics of how your wobbly dude is dressed up. And then one day, she sends me a screenshot of Chapulín Colorado. For those of you not raised in a Hispanic household,
we'll show you.
It's a very
there's a Chapulín Colorado.
It's a very iconic comedic superhero of ours.
It's like our own version of Charlie Chaplin almost. It's like a modern version of Charlie Chaplin mixed with, Steve Urkel. It's a combination. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of like sitcom kind of.
It was amazing. Listen, I mean, watch some reruns. It's funny. And I was so taken by it that the first thing I did was get home and pay the $10 to get my character that thing, because the only way I was playing it was with that suit.
That's funny.
But then she's laughing all along because now we're playing together. Now we're playing this game together, side by side, me with my Chapulín Colorado wobbly doll, just running around, and she's with me. But important to also know is, bringing it back to problematic situations, is not only prioritizing but not knowing when to stop, and missing the point that this is a game, and you can pick up where you left. Like, the technology's there. Just like now, you can pause a movie.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. You're screaming at people, no, not now. But you can pause it.
Yeah.
You can go back and we can rewind.
You can press the tirurito.
Yeah, the tirurito. I did as an example to my daughter one day. She was playing. She plays. There's a few games that she plays, but one day she spoke back to her mother in a loud manner because she was doing something, and I went and I disconnected it. Obviously, she was upset and said, "Don't get upset at me. Just trust me. Don't get upset. Apologize to your mom. Do what you were asked to do, and then come back." And she comes back. We pull it up. We boot it up, and I go like, "See, we're right back where you were. You can pick up." Yeah. This is the difference between technology and real life. At least here, you can repeat. You die, you can go back again. You make a mistake, you can correct. And actually, those are the things that make gaming attractive to me, right? So you can test different theories and different things, and you can fail and try again. Not this way, and so on and so forth.
This program is made possible in part by the Gentleman's Brotherhood store, featuring an exclusive line of apparel designed to not only look good, but to spread a most needed message. We invite you to look at our growing collection and support our Brotherhood through your purchase. For details, go to thegentleman'sbrotherhood.com. Yes, I love seeing that aspect of it in my children. My youngest one in particular has been playing some very challenging games, and he externalizes his frustration, but he is tenacious. So he'll be like, "Oh my God, but that's not fair. How come he's doing that?" And he'll say, he'll mouth something, and we try to tell him, it's like, listen, like, keep those voices in your head. Like, you don't have to externalize them and then involve all of us in the whole fighting with the fairness of the game, right? But it's the whole point. Is like, he is still fighting through it. He's not quitting. He's not throwing the remote. He's not unplugging it upset. He's pushing through. Yeah. He's just pressing forward. And I'm seeing that, and I'm trying to be aware of it and praising him. I'm trying to tell him, hey, listen, kiddo. Yeah, granted, I don't like it whenever you get too upset and start verbalizing how frustrated you are with the game. But I do admire that you are you're pressing on. You're not giving up on that challenge. You're still trying to get that boss.
Yeah.
And when he does, then he'll come. He's like, I did it. He's so proud of himself, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, they learn from that.
They do.
And whenever, let's say they're in the future, let's say they're an engineer, for example, and they encounter a problem that it just keeps on being that obstacle that he can't push through. He's already built that muscle of finding ways to tweak and fail and tweak and fail and tweak and fail, but he knows that he's going to achieve it.
Yeah.
You know? So I want to make that point very clear, especially if the listener or the person watching the video has children of these formative years. Video games aren't all bad. Like, I remember these myths coming out about, oh, you're just damaging your brain because you're playing so much.
But now, you know, the myth that I do hear often is, well, you know, just throw them there. They don't need supervision. They do, guys. They do. The internet is full of videos of kids rage quitting, throwing the remote into the screen, smacking the screen, doing like all this. No, you know,
normalizing such a barbaric.
No, just you know what I tell my daughter. She just like your son. She will scream and yell and she likes the difficult ones. Yeah. She likes the ones I put down because I go like, oh no, because I like my games like I like
your woman
chili.
Oh, I was gonna say, don't say your woman. You said complicated a second ago.
I like my games like chili, right? I like it hot, but I like it hot so I can enjoy it. I don't like games. Yeah. I don't like this. I'm not a masochist, right? I don't like it. And there's a line of games that you really have to like this masochism to like it. Demon Souls come to mind. So I tell her, I said, listen, when you're upset, when the guy has killed you for the nth time, just put the remote down.
Yeah, give yourself a break.
Go away. Turn it off. Go away. Do something else. You know. Then come back.
Yeah, and you get better. I'm gonna look into this for a future episode. But I just read a study where they were talking about the benefit of pausing for whenever you're trying to memorize something, whenever you're trying to solve a problem, pausing for even a minute and coming back to it. It's almost like it gives your brain an opportunity to sort out some of the strategy and some of the, and it's almost unconsciously that it's happening.
Well, I'll bring back to you our experience with Toastmasters, where we had to memorize the speeches, and then the night before you're trying to cram, and then in the morning it's like everything is clear.
Yeah.
Like not worry in the world. It's like everything just congealed and came to pieces. But yes, and then you will put it down. You will put your game down because at the time they're nothing but puzzles. To be solved. And at the time, the solution is escaping you because at the time, in real time, you're just focusing on one plausible solution. But as you put it down and you go to the kitchen, you go like, shh, I had the wand of fire. I can use the wand of fire.
Exactly.
And then everything just comes together. You come back like, I got it.
It almost sounds like our opinion about whether it's okay for men to play video games is somewhat biased because we agree there's so many benefits to it. And in that case is stepping away from the frustrating situation, even for a little bit. It gives you that chance to regroup in your head and then figure out, oh, wait a second. Of course, that's what I need to do. This is the solution. And many times we're dealing with a problem in real life, but we're just pressing on that problem. So there's that balance. It's like you need to know, when do you step away for a bit, or when do you just press on to get to the solution? And of course, there's not going to be a clear cut formula that you can apply to every situation. This is, you build that muscle, you build your own intuition to know, it's like, you know what I need now is to step aside, take a deep breath, maybe do something mindless, and then come back and revisit this problem.
Yeah, it has a real life parallel, which is the failing, the getting down, the starting again, which is the advantage of a video game, is that just leave it alone and start again, and we would go. It's a puzzle. Let's try and let's retry, and then when you come back to the real world, then you go, okay, so this happened. This didn't work. What would happen if I were gaming? What would I do this time? Okay, do I have other tools that I have not considered? Do I have a wand of fire under my drawer that I can pull out? I might not have that, but I do have some files on somebody else that can help me, or I have the phone number of the HR person that can help me with whatever it is.
I like that.
So it is that ability to take and put in and understand that everything in moderation is not bad. We can find the good in everything. We can find the bad in everything.
Yeah.
But as this is just part of it. It's pervasive, right? In our culture. We not only game in consoles at home. We
carry it around.
We carry it around.
Yeah,
now
that's a good point.
And that's when, as parents, we have to be very conscientious of that, right? Is your kid all the time hearing the phone and then comes home to a console? Like, come on now. Are your friendships personal or only virtual? Those are things that those are red flags that we have to consider when exploring this whole genre.
That's very good. And this is just like the tip of the iceberg. I just wanted us to have this overview conversation, but there's some nuances to this that we can find some studies that are going to show us perhaps aspect of this that we haven't considered. And I like that we've talked about the parent-child relationship. I talked about me seeing them wanting to connect with me, encouraging me to play some video games because it's that language that they're speaking. As a matter of fact, I've noticed that we may go to a restaurant and I'll be there with my wife and my two boys, and I'm having a conversation with my wife about something, and then one of the kids says, "Hey, did I tell you that there's a new," and insert game here, where now you can do this and do some other thing. And initially you may see that as changing the subject. It's like, well, that's not what we're talking about. It's like, why would you start talking about, all you talk about is video games, you have nothing else good to talk about? But think about it from this perspective. This is what they're familiar with, and they're trying to invite you into their world.
It just opens the door to further conversation.
Yeah.
If you were, for example, like Assassin's Creed, right? Games that are usually based on loosely on some historical events.
Exactly.
Well, then you open the door to talk about the history of whatever happens in that moment. Then all of a sudden you're having a conversation about something unrelated,
which is completely up my alley.
Yes.
History.
Yeah. Now let me switch it. Have you seen this game about the pirates? Yeah. Well, did you know that in this year this would happen? That's when this happened, and this and that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you go, "No, really? Yes." Yep. So now we're learning. Now we're talking. Now we're having a conversation. There's a game called Rocket League. I don't know if you.
Of course.
Okay, so
my friend Victor plays it.
I am super uber competitive, so I do not, and I recommend you never do this. Don't let your kids win on purpose. No, fight them. Have them win for real.
Yeah, have them get better.
Yeah, just go. Yeah. You go beat me. Come on, let's beat me. And so when we play. It took her a while until she started because and then you can talk all the smack you want because yes, you beat me. But until that day comes, let's just go.
That's so good.
Yeah, no. I don't. No. You have to earn this.
Yeah.
No participation trophy here. No.
That's a good approach.
No, who's doing the dishes tonight? That's it. And so
what's at stake?
And that's another thing. So that's another thing. In my house, if you don't cook, you wash the dishes, right? And when my wife does the cooking, I have to do the dishes, or my daughters, right? So we play a video game to see who's gonna do the dishes.
I like
Let's go. I've won many, and I lost many.
Yeah, my kids are not gonna appreciate that you just suggested that, and there's video footage about it.
I'm just saying, it's a great freaking idea, because
very good.
It's another family dynamic, and this is what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Is getting the family involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being all together for the thing. Because all of a sudden, my wife, who's not a gamer,
Mm-hmm.
then she's watching the competition because she wants to know who's going to be doing the dishes.
That's very good. This is definitely there have to be additional conversations about this, because later on in a future episode, I want us to explore a little bit more that whole perception from let's say a young man who grew up playing video games all the time, and now he has a home of his own. Perhaps he's dating, or he has a new relationship. How does he adapt his relationship with video games? Mm-hmm. Does he sacrifice it for that new relationship? Mm-hmm. Does he set some boundaries as to, hey, this is important to me, and you should expect to see me doing this in these many intervals? You see, so like there's so many nuances about that aspect of it that I think we should revisit the topic.
Yep.
Because there's a lot.
Yeah, we can go for hours there. Yeah, because just like you say, we haven't talked about online gaming, right? Mm-hmm. When you have friends on the other side of the screen.
Exactly.
And now how important is that to you? How much time do you want? I want to spend time with my friends. Well, how much time are you going to spend with your friends?
Exactly.
And so it is.
Yeah, jealousy will come into play. A lot of complications come in.
And then there's VR. Oh my.
Don't get me
More
started.
to come.
More to come. I appreciate you spending some time with me talking about this. I hope you enjoyed some of this conversation. I'm sure I'm going to hear from you in the comments section. Let me know, are you a gamer? Like, do you play video games on the regular? And have you noticed that does it help you in your relationships with your friends, with your spouse, with your girlfriend, with your children? Does it affect you in a positive, negative way? I want to hear your story so that we can keep this conversation going in our social media channels. For those of you who follow us on social media, @TheGentsBro is the handle on every social media. Find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. We can keep this conversation happening there. I also wanted to say thank you to our supporters on Patreon. Thank you so much. Your contributions make these conversations possible. Imagine that these conversations are happening, and hopefully they're helping a young man who is starting a relationship or is starting to raise young kids, and you played a part in them seeing that. So for that, thank you. Now, patrons get benefits from being part of our supporters. They get early access to our episodes. They get a front row seat into the decision making that goes in the Gentleman's Brotherhood. In addition, you get a voice and a vote on future episodes. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to go to patreon.com/Juan Sepulveda for details. And I hope that this has been of value to you, and I want to see you again next time. And until then, I wish you courage,
courtesy,
and courtesy.